What is good, YouTube? Win Wade coming to y'all with that NBA live draft second round analysis. Can't wait to see who gets picked first. Can't wait to see who gets picked throughout the draft. See some trades and see some teams make their decisions earlier. Who they want to go with, who they feel that can help them, and who they feel like they can build around with in this second round. And that's what it's all about. Should go quicker than the first round. No parent interviews and stuff like that. So this might be 2 hours instead of 3 hours like we did yesterday. But I'm just gonna spend time with y'all, answer some questions, and give y'all some analysis of why certain players go some places and why it might make sense outside of just opinions. And that's what the analysts are supposed to do, break it down for y'all so y'all can understand it, but also give y'all some different perspectives of why things are being done and why things are being made as decisions for these franchises. So this should be a good evening, and this should be really fun again. And I love the draft. This is one of my favorite times of the year, is seeing these guys' goals and dreams being accomplished and coming true, and walking across that stage as they get ready to possibly play in the NBA and make their own impact, make their own story, and finish and complete their story or continue it. And we should see what happens in this second round. I know a lot of people talking about the Knicks. What are they going to do? And they have a chance to make the NBA go crazy from the start of the second round already. And we'll see what they choose to do. But excited to see what's going to happen in this second round, and see what my Celtics do, see what a lot of these other teams do as well. That's why we watch, right? We watch to see how things unfold, and that's always fun and exciting. There's a lot of good guards and wings still available, so if you didn't get them in the first round or you didn't get the one that you really like, you can still get a good one in this part of the draft. And that's a real fun thing, that you can still find some good talent that come in and help you, and still got some people that have potential to do that if you invest in them. Want to invest in all of these guys, but some need more than others, honestly. But it should be a fun day, and it should be a good evening for all the basketball fans, especially the NBA ones. Jalen Brown still a Celtic. We'll see what happens with him throughout the summer. There's been a lot of rumors and a lot of stuff said about him. Still a Celtic though, so we'll see how the rest of the summer plays out. It's out of our control as fans, but at the end of the day, it's a hot topic. I already talked about it a couple days ago. Not gonna go into it again, but he's still a hot topic this summer. Um, we'll see what happens in the future with him, but we might see at least 8 out of the 40 B guards. And if it's not 8, then it might be 7 B guards out of the next 10 picks. And that will be different, but we kind of expect it in this draft, honestly, as people that's been mocking, and I have did my mock draft um, the last couple of weeks, and we'll see what happens with these guys that's still available. Some of these people, they beating this trade stuff like a dead horse. Like, y'all don't have nothing else to talk about but the same thing every day. Hey, y'all just talked about the same thing yesterday. Now y'all talking about the same thing today. Y'all don't have anything else to talk about. That just don't make no sense to me. Y'all got all these brains working for y'all. Y'all can talk about the same stuff every day. I don't understand that. Some of the greatest players ever got drafted in the second round. Doesn't happen to everybody, but you can take this opportunity and do a whole lot with it. So we'll see what these teams do from the start to finish in this draft. You can get an all-star in the second round. It may not happen very often, but you can get one. So we'll see who gets the biggest steal in the second round. There's still some guys that we probably felt should have been in the first round that didn't get picked. Now they have a chance to get picked in the second round. So teams should still be have fun and be excited. They can still get a quality player that they might have liked, and they can just fall right into their lap, and they can smile about it because you want to get the best talent you can get most of the time. So the Knicks get more picks. The 39th and the 53rd and the 2029 Kings second rounders is what the Knicks are going to get because they traded the 31st and the 55th pick in this draft. So the Knicks been making some moves to get a whole lot of picks, which they didn't really have a lot of now. They have a couple based off the last 2 days, yesterday and today, which is really good, showing you that they are trying to be as flexible as they can with their roster and have some options too that they didn't really have going into the draft. So good pickup. The Knicks have really been active, showing you that they're trying to figure this out and try to repeat again as champions if they can. And some people was questioning that, but it seemed like they're trying to still figure it out. Let's see what happens in the draft is about to start when it comes to picks. So that's what we all here for, right? The franchises. Celtics, what is we gonna do? I can't wait to see what we gonna do. We got a really good steal in the first round. Let's see if we can do it again in the second round. We need to fill out that bench. Our bench was a little questionable last year sometimes. But now we can add some size and some, you know, and some effort players. We already had guys that knew how to play and shoot and stuff like that. We need a little bit more, especially on the cheap, honestly. Chris and Ack Jr. out of Houston. And the draft pick is about to almost be in. Adam Silver got the boos. Mark Tatum got the cheers. Dreams about to come true again. This is the best time is when he gets up there. The Knickerbockers. So it's a lot of players that they can pick here. The Rockets, for example. So it's gonna be fun to see what they do. They still trying to contend in the Western Conference, and this pick can actually help that a lot. That's why they made the trade. Um, Now we just have to see who they go with and who they pick. It's gonna be some veteran-ish type of players um, in this range of 31 to 50. So we'll just see who they really want out of all the players that they can pick out of right now. Ain't really a time limit I see right now. Besides, we know they have 5 minutes. We just don't know how long it's gonna take them to make the pick. Other than that, a lot of people nervous. A lot of people don't know what to think. They just hope that they get selected. Yeah, it's a feeling I never had, but it is really interesting seeing that oh my God, is it gonna be me? So the contracts are a little rougher on the second round picks, as you can see, but you still have a chance to make something happen in your career. This is just a way to get your foot in the door. That's why you got to look at it. And still got to go out there and play your best and do your best and be the best person and teammate you can be. And you just never know what can happen after that. But that's why you got to look at it. I have a chance to play for the NBA. Let's make the best out of it. All these second rounders and undrafted kids should look at it that way if they really want to be basketball players and NBA players for a long period. That's the mentality you have to have. You ain't gonna make a crazy amount of money, but at least you have a chance to get in the door and possibly make that something that people might want to remember. And you want to make sure you enjoy the moment at the same time, because this is the moment that you really want. You ain't checking Adam Silverhand, but maybe in the future. You had a chance to meet him before, most likely, so it ain't the worst thing ever. Knicks pick is for the Rockets pick is in. Didn't really take them that long to make it. Let's see what they do with this pick. Memphis and Brooklyn is next up after this one. We'll see if they keep their picks as well. Memphis been picking up a lot of young talent over the last 2 years. We'll see if it pays off for them. And Brooklyn has been doing the same. So Bruce Thornton they put the camera in his face a whole lot, and now he's the first one off the board for the second round. So he's going out of Ohio State. And mission complete for him. Now he just has to go out there and ball out in summer league and preseason and training camp, earn some respect, turn some heads, and ball out. That's all you got to do now. So we'll see if he can stay healthy. We can see if he plays his game. He's definitely a proven player. He's definitely a player that's ready to contribute right away. And this is his moment. So hopefully he enjoys it. Even though his hat gonna change since he going to the Rockets, he still can smile about it because goal accomplished. 6 feet, 223 pounds out of Ohio State. He gonna have to work hard for his buckets in the NBA, but he's capable. He does a lot of things for you to help you win. I mean, that's all you can ask for any player that you draft. But he's gonna be working hard for his buckets. But we'll see if he's gonna be effective. We're gonna see if he can do it at the NBA level. We just gotta adjust, just gotta figure some things out and change some things up a little bit. Then we'll see if it works out for him. But I can see him being a quality bench player for any team that he plays for. And we'll see what the Grizzlies do next. A happy young man. Memphis pick is in already. Number one on the air board is Malik Thomas. No surprise there. People had him going in the first round. At the end of it, he didn't get picked. Now we'll see if he continues to fall a little bit. And if he does, it sucks for him. Nothing you can really do besides use it as motivation to come back to yourself and look yourself in the mirror and say, I got more work to put in. And that's really about it, honestly. And Sacramento got the 34th pick after Brooklyn with the 33rd pick. So it seems like they're making their picks a lot faster than the first round. I guess they know for sure who they really want with these picks instead of trying to trade down a lot or pick a couple guys. But you never really know what the team wants to do until they make their decision. That's why we watch the draft in the first place. But should be interesting for that reason to still see what they choose to do. Still some good some shot creators on this second round pick selections that they can make. Some shot creators, guys that can pass that ball, shoot that ball off the catch, and also create their own shot a little bit. They might be smaller, they might not be as physical, but they can put the ball in the basket. And sometimes that's all that really matters. At the end of the day, you come in with a skill set that we can work with. Then we'll help you expand your game a little bit more as you continue to stay in the league. We ask you to do this, we need you to do that. Then we'll see what you can do more of, and we'll help you reach that goal too. Is what the coaching staff has to feel, and same with the organization that selects these players. And like I said, a lot of teams right now don't have the cap space, or they in tough cap situations, or they want to spend it on a certain free agent. So we might not see any crazy trades happen because a lot of these teams are locked in and stuck in their situation financially. So we're not going to see anything crazy happen probably in the second round either. You're probably going to see more people re-signing than getting traded even in the off season. But that's not a bad thing. That just lets you know that they like who they got and they want to keep who they got, which isn't really anything new, but it's just how the trend has been the last couple of years, and most likely going to be that way for a couple more, unless people just start taking pay cuts. That's the only way it probably would, change. But you never really know. Winning matters, so teams and players are willing to sacrifice if it's needed, if they feel that they can win at a high level. Grizzlies pick is in. So Richie Saunders is off the board from BYU, a teammate of AJ's, the number one pick, 6'5", 205 pounds, can shoot that basketball. That man can shoot the leather off that ball. And you always want a guy like that that's competitive and really confident. And Richie Saunders gives you all of that. He dropped a little bit, but not too far from what a lot of us thought that he'll get picked at. Um, Solid player though, but it is a trade for this 33rd pick that the Nets supposed to have with the Timberwolves. I think that was a trade yesterday that we found out that the Nets will be picking 33rd because of that trade with the Timberwolves. People might forget about it. They might not remember it because it's a couple hours ago. But that was, a trade that happened with Julius Randle that helped the Knicks get this pick. Other than that, let's see what the Knicks do. They need a whole lot of talent if they're going to change things quickly. I don't think the draft this year is going to make them a contender or a good team in the Eastern Conference anytime soon, but it can help, them win some fans over and show them that they're still trying to compete, although they might not have the talent that's on paper that make you crazy about them, but they're still, trying to gather as much talent as they can and develop as many players as they can to become players that they hope to be, want to be, and also show that they can be in this league. But they already found who they wanted. Let's see who Brooklyn selects with this 33rd pick. So the pick is in. Let's see who the Brooklyn Nets is going to be picking. 33rd pick is going to be Isaiah Evans. He's a really good player out of Duke. He can ball out 6'5", 186, can create his own shot, can make a jumper. That's the type of guy you're going to see a lot within this second round. But he's a shooting guard. That's what he's supposed to do. That's what he's supposed to bring to the table. And he got good length as well. Other than that, just a quality player that understands what he's out there to do, give some floor space and make an extra pass. Try to defend if he can, depending on who's the player. And that's what you're going to get. And the Nets say we need more shooting, we need more scoring. So can't be mad at him for trying to get a guy they feel like can bring that to the table for him. So Sacramento is next with the 34th pick. It looked like they probably might go with a wing. We'll see what they do. Officially, though, remember this is a trade too with Cleveland that happened not that long ago. So we'll see it official. The pick is in. Like I said, this is going faster than the first round. More business-like approach for the second round. Get in, get out. They got their pick. Let's see them. Let them get the chance to shake the deputy commissioner And let's go ahead and get to the next pick. So this is going to be a quicker process compared to the first round, which is more of an event, more of a celebration. This still is that, but they taking away a lot of the other stuff and making it a little faster. So this one should go quicker compared to the first round. And let's see who they choose to pick. So we already got 3 straight guards. Will it be 4? Malik Thomas, we knew for sure he's going to get drafted early in the second round, and it's factual now as they just selected him guard out of Arkansas. He probably sad that he fell as far as he did, but you gotta look at it like it was meant to be. It was meant to happen. Now all you gotta do is focus on what you can control, and that's playing the best you can and going out there and showing that you belong in the NBA and just trying to make it as long as a career as you can. Um, Pretty cool for him. Calf. Yeah, a lot of talent down there in Cleveland, so he should be happy that he got some people to rely on and have his back. To have some all-star caliber players, some of the greatest players to ever do it on that roster. 6'3", 190 out of Arkansas. Shooter, like I said, you're gonna see a lot of guys that can do that. Do you like their body? Do you like their athleticism? Do you like the size that they're at? That's the only real difference within these players that's going to be selected. But he's a bucket getter, like I said. He's going to find a way to put it in the basket. You're going to see a couple more guys within these next picks that can possibly do the same. That's what shooting guards are. They put the ball in the basket. So they have to do it a little bit of jumper, a little bit of range. They have to finish in that paint from time to time, but little short, but still has a good body for the position. So, you get a quality bench player um, with that pick for Cleveland. And then San Antonio, remember the trade that happened yesterday? So Denver is going to be happy that they can add another player to their rotation on the cheap. And the Spurs, y'all can do your thing. I think this is going to be really quick. So might be out of the top 40 quickly. He said, I'm about to come in this league, put in all this work and show down one of the best players you can get. Well, he has a chance to prove it. The opportunity is going to be there quickly for him. Because Cleveland is a team that's trying to shed salary too, so maybe he gets some chances to play at least 10 to 15 minutes and show what he can do. Sometimes you just need the chance. Sometimes you just need the opportunity. You just see what it is. After that, San Antonio and Denver, their time is basically up. They got to send in that pick now. So they can fill a wing or guard spot. I feel like the Nuggets can use a player like that. It might be an older type of selection, but you have plenty of those type of players available. So you just pick the one that you feel fits most of what you're trying to do, and you just want him to be a guy that you believe can get the job done when you pick him. So that's all you can really say for the Nuggets right now. Pick is in. Let's see what they do with it. So Trevin is off the board for Denver, basically 6'9", 226 pounds. Some people had him going a little higher, but it depends on what team and what they feel that they need or they want. Really big body, very athletic. Um, a guy that's going to go out there and give you whatever he has, and just a competitor. You have to like that. Um, a good player. So you're just going to plug him in and let him go to work and enjoy what he does for you while he's out there on the court. A good 20-minute, 25-minute guy at the max at the NBA level, probably. And that's good to get, in the second round. And then you look at the 36 pick by the Clippers is about to be made. They're still molding and fixing and figuring out what their roster going to do and be. But I think they have an idea already of what they're trying to do with it, like most of the teams already that's trying to keep their pick. So it's a guy that they like for sure. We just have to see who it is right now. So should be pretty cool. Yep.
Can you do me a favor? Run upstairs in my prayer room, bring me the barbecue sauce I'm gonna put on this week.
So Clippers, OKC with the 37 pick, the 38th pick, which is Chicago. Pick is in for the Clippers. Should be fun to see what they choose to do with this one. Clippers are really building up their wing and guard depth last year and this year. And they still have Kawhi Leonard, and they still have some quality players on their roster. We'll see who they choose to keep in free agency and who they choose to let go or trade. Obviously, Steve Ballmer said that they're not looking to get rid of Kawhi Leonard as of now. So they still gonna try to win with him. We'll see if it ends up paying off for him because he's almost a free agent next year. So that's gonna be something that they're gonna have to try to figure out in the next couple months. Is he worth keeping? Is he a guy that can still lead you to a title? And how they gonna build the roster to be competitive enough to be able to win one? That's gonna be the question. So Baba Miller off the board. He's a forward out of Cincinnati. Um, I think he gives them something that they should be happy to add. Um, so I thought they'd go for a wing, and they did a forward. So that's how I ended up going for him. He's a big guy, so you just hope that his skills translate to the NBA level within 2 to 3 years. But other than that, a guy that you're going to have to work with a little bit, and you just hope that he develops into being a quality young player for you. Um, 6'10", 208. Of course, you want him to get a little bit bigger than that at the NBA level. But good decision maker, good finisher around the realm, knows where to go on the court to get what he wants. You have to like that about him. And he can put up a double-double if you give him enough time on the court. And he knows where to be at on the court. Just good court awareness. But the Thunder is up next. Should be a fun pick for them. So the Thunder, will they take a guard? Will they take a wing? Will they take another big? They got a lot of wings. They got a lot of guards. They got a lot of bigs. So they just adding depth at this point for the cheap. And that's all that they are going to be able to do. Like, this is going to be a team that's going to have to trade some other guys in the future. As long as they got their big three together, it doesn't matter. As long as they got Chet, as long as they got Shea, as long as they got Jalen Williams, healthy, they're going to be a good team for years to come. But they already got a really good first round. They already got a lot of great players on their roster and good ones. Now, is they going to keep this pick or is they going to just draft somebody they feel can be good now or a project that can be worked on and possibly be good years to come? They don't really have a difficult decision to make because all their players are already contributing at a high level that's in their rotation. And they don't really need to add nobody right now. They just adding because they have to. It's part of roster building. Is Sam Presti is a guy that's a genius. He knows talent. He listens to his people, and they'll make a decision that makes sense at the end of the day for the organization. We just have to see who it is, and that's really about it. And the pick is in now for the Thunder, and we'll see who it is in a couple of seconds. And the Thunder will be selecting Ryan Conwell, guard out of Louisville. 6'2", 215 pounds. He's not at the event. He's going to be able to knock down some shots from the perimeter. He's going to be ready to score whenever he has an opportunity to. And, I mean, may not play a crazy amount because of Shea and A.J. Mitchell and Cason Wallace and Dort for what we know right now. But he fits what they do. He's the type of player that does the type of things that they like and they already have on their roster. So just adding another guy that you can just put in and say, we just need you to play hard and you know create shots for yourself and your teammates. Ryan Conwell can do it. He's not gonna play a lot of minutes, but maybe he can give you 5 to 15, depending on if an injury happened or something comes up. He can do that for you if you keep him. So that's something that they didn't crazily need, but it's also something I ain't mad at happening. I'll take it. You know, if I can get the Pepsi, I'll take some chips too. May not need the chips that bad, but if I can get a Pepsi and some chips, I'll take it. It's just like somebody saying you can buy one get one free. If you buy this one free anyway. You wanted one of them, you might as well take the free one too. It can be that way sometimes for business. It can be like that in the NBA. Like the Bulls, this is an important pick for them because they're really, really building something special based off how they draft been going. And you wanted to continue to build the excitement and you want to continue to build with young talent. And they have the ability to do that again with their pick at 38. So I feel like there's a lot of good players left, whether it's a big, whether it's a guard that can come in and give them scoring, give them size, and possibly even get them shooting. And Brandon Smith can give you organization. He knows how to set guys up. He knows how to find guys for easy opportunities. You got Giddy for, but if he goes to the bench, you want somebody else. Malik Brown is a good wing. If you're drafting for upside and potential, he'd be a good guy to go for. But other than that, you're going to probably take the best big available off the board, which is Henry or another guard, which they're starting to pick up a lot of them. But some of them, they looking like they might keep. Some of them, they looking like they might not. It's part of rebuilding. Some players you feel can help you. Some players actually do. Some players never really become what you think they're going to be. Just part of the game. And that's why these picks are important for a team that needs more talent and needs more help to be more competitive in the Eastern Conference and just in general. So they trying to get this right as much as they can. So far, the second round been going real good. A lot of good players was on the board, and a lot of them that dropped in the first round did get picked up pretty swiftly. Um, in this second round, teams took no chances and didn't have no hesitation picking these players as they should. And really good to see. The Bulls pick is in. Bruce Thornton is getting traded from the Knicks. So that's another player that the Knicks could have kept, but they rather just move off of. Um, Brendan Smith, he's short, he's small, but he can run an offense. He knows how to find guys. He knows how to make their jobs easier. He understands how to play the point guard pure, wise, and he can get his own shot. So that's something that he's going to have to prove he can do at the NBA level. He might be not as athletic, might be hard for him to create separation in space to get good looks, but that's something he's just going to have to figure out as his career continues to go on, what he's going to have to do and what he's going to have to add to his game to be able to play his game successfully in the NBA. So, not a bad pick, but also a pick where not as much potential, but you know for sure what you're getting when it comes to what he can bring to you coming into the NBA mindset wise. He has the right mindset. He understands what he's trying to do. You're just gonna have to help him adjust and adapt to the NBA level, and that's what the coaching staff is supposed to do, and that's what the training staff is supposed to do. So we'll see if it works out for him. So Braden Smith going to Indiana, Chicago, getting cash. Thunder receives the 41st pick in cash consideration. The Heat will be getting Ryan Conwell. So that trade ended up going down not that long ago. And it's like I said, there's going to be a lot of people moving up and back because some teams, like I said, want to avoid being in a salary cap situation. And they also may have a free agent that they want for sure. So it just makes sense to go for that guy instead of getting a rookie. That's probably the biggest reason why. Other than that, having cash helps you stay out of salary cap trouble. And a lot of teams prefer to do that. That's already a contender and already have their guys that they trust and believe can help them get to that promised land. The pick is in for the Rockets, which is being traded. Um, so Jack Kyle is in the building out of Germany. He's another guard. He needs some work on his game, some polishing up, will make him a good player, possibly in the NBA. Other than that, a upside type of pick, in my personal opinion, and just has to prove himself again. That's all you can really do when you making it to the NBA or trying to hang into the NBA or make a name for yourself. But he's officially off the board. He put in a lot of work to get to this point. Now it's paying off for him, hopefully. But this is a guy that I'm gonna be watching. 6'5", 185, good size basketball wise. Um, we'll just see if he can fill out the rest of his offensive game. Like I said, he's more of a project. That's why they say shooting potential. He gotta continue to work on that. He got to continue to figure that part out. This is the modern era where shooting is what you really want all your guards to be able to do consistently, or just be a threat on a perimeter that teams have to respect and have to guard. And that's something he's definitely got to work on if you want longevity in the NBA. And the pick is in for them Celtics. So Dylan Mitchell is a Celtic. So forward out of St. John, like I said, when you're going in there, maybe three of them out of the 10, maybe wings, and the rest all guards. I think I was right on that, for sure. And you get another wing for the Celtics. They like guys that can defend and play and defend multiple positions, and he can do that. He's a guy that you have to help him be better on the offensive end when it comes to shooting and scoring. But other than that, the guy understands, what to do rebounding wise, passing wise, and getting to the basket and in transition. And he can create those opportunities too with his activity defensively, which is really good. Miami, OKC trade 41. Um, we have to see what this ends up being for them. We didn't seen a lot of OKC in this draft. And they're a team that don't really need much help to be a championship team next year. But they have been doing a really good job of picking up young players. That's one thing I give them in this draft. First round and second round. It's scary how much talent the Thunder actually have and how much potential they can have with this team even in the future for many years to come. Like if they get another championship, I'm a Celtics fan, honestly, but if they get another championship, I wouldn't be surprised. that's how good this roster is looking, and that's how good this roster is. So they're really good. So OA out of University of Kentucky, another guard, 6'4", 216 pounds, and not the greatest scorer, but we'll see what he is gonna develop into within 2 to 3 years if he stays in the league that long. But he's a guy that wanted to come out and feel like he'll get drafted. Now is reality, and we'll see the work he puts in and the commitment he has to the game again at the NBA level, and see if teams going to give him a shot and a chance to show what he can do on the basketball court. And that's all you can really want if you him at that 41st pick. The Spurs is on the board, and they a team that don't really need much either. They pretty much solved and figured out whatever they needed to do in that first round, and now they're just a team that has to add another guy because they have to. Either they can trade it for cash, or they can just draft another guy that's going to be cheap enough to where they're happy to have him anyway, and he can still come in and play at least 10 minutes for them. I mean, they don't really need much when it comes to talent. They just need to keep their young guys healthy and continue to improve them. And maybe one time or multiple times they'll be champions as well. They got close enough this year by getting to the finals and being up basically every single game in the series, and still found a way to lose the series. Well, just grow from it, learn from it, and that's all they can really do, besides trying to find a way to get better each and every day to get that goal accomplished, which is being NBA champions. Fell short of it, but as always, next season, and we'll see if they can get it done this time around. Even though it might be hard and tough, that's the whole purpose of building a roster and accepting that challenge of trying to better yourself and get it done. Um, we'll see if they can do that. Pick is in for the Spurs at 42. We'll see what they do. We almost done with the draft as quick as that can be, but we have done it for an hour already. We'll see if I'm right about the 2 hour situation. Detroit Pistons are trading Isaiah Stewart, which we knew that was a rumor a couple of days ago. Detroit are trading Isaiah Stewart to the Memphis Grizzlies for 3 future second-round picks. Pistons clear Stewart's salary and pick up assets, while Grizzlies acquired a 25-year-old rugged front court piece. He's physical. He can block shots. He can finish at the rim, but he has had a lot of problems with fights and stuff like that over the last couple years. Other than that, the guy can shoot a 3 too, and he is a quality big um, for any team. But, giving up 3 future second round picks ain't that bad, especially when Memphis got so many of them anyway. You get a guy that can really play and prove himself already in the NBA. And the Spurs hate Jacoby Gillespie. Um, the guy can score. The guy doesn't have any trouble on the offensive end. You probably surprised that he fell this low. But if that's the case, you ain't wrong. But every team looks at what they need differently. Every team look at what they're trying to do differently than others. So they looked at it like, this is a good guy at this position. Let's go ahead and get him. The Nets 43rd pick is almost in. Um, the pick is in for the Brooklyn Nets, the 43rd pick. is going to be so Tyler Villano out of UCLA, another forward, 6'7", 228 pounds. Um, he can rebound a little bit. He can space the floor. I think the Nets would love to have another guy like that. Um, I think that's just a good pickup, a good offensive player that doesn't get in the way, but understand how to still help you out offensively. Um, and then at the end of the day, you just need a little bit of more defense. I think they started doing that in the draft. You obviously like to pick up more two-way players as well. If you're the Nets, although they did need offense too, especially in that first round, they start figuring that part out a little bit. Now they just need to develop these guys and continue to add to the talent that they have and cut some guys and also try to upgrade some spots if they can't in this draft or in free agency. But the Nets honestly are in no rush to be good. Just to be honest, they know that this is going to be a grind. They know that this is going to take some time for them to get good again, the way they want to be and the way they want to do it. So it does make sense what they're trying to do. Spurs again at 44. They picked the right draft to get a lot of picks. And you would say, how is they gonna have, enough for these guys to play? Well, that's the GM job to figure out. That's the coach job to figure out. Because the Spurs do have a whole lot of talent right now. So there's gonna be a lot of guys getting drafted ain't gonna see the time of day on this Spurs roster and in their lineups. So it's good to get into the NBA. It's good to be known. It's good to be known that you're good enough to play and good enough to get drafted. But with a team like the Spurs or the Thunder or even other teams that we done seen like the Knicks, you most likely ain't going to play at all if you're a rookie. If you do, it's because you was that good in training camp, in preseason, in summer league, where they feel that they can trust you. They feel like you can be a difference maker, which some of these guys should be able to do, but not all of them. But you don't always draft for what they can do this season. Sometimes you draft them for potential in other seasons as well. Pick is in for the Spurs. Let's see who they choose to go with. So Chicago trading Braden Smith to Indiana. Malik Brown is off the board. They're forward 6'8", 217 out of Duke. Down the Spurs do have a lot of guards and a lot of wings, but now they got another one that's gonna go out there and play hard. The defensive end and also is scoring the paint. So it's not a bad thing, but it's a good thing, especially because the other guys still having knee problems. Quinton's, so he might not even be able to play right away. So now you get a guy that's going to go out there and do similar things. You want guys that can play on the defensive end as well, because those plays can lead to offense too, and it can make the Spurs already one of the better defensive teams in the league. Now they add even more defense and more size and more versatility in this NBA draft. And you just have to be impressed of how they're building this roster to possibly compete for titles for the next couple years. Sacramento, 45th pick. We only got about, 15 picks to go. So we'll see how fast this goes. Still got Sabonis. They still got Zach LaVine. They still got DeRozan. They still got some Keegan Murray. They got some guys that already can play. Not the greatest defensive team, but they have some offensive players that's tough to guard still. Zach LaVine is a guy that opted into his player option. They might let Russell Westbrook go because they did have a chance to add guards in this draft. Of course, a rookie guard is worse than a veteran guard, but Westbrook didn't play terrible, but he didn't play that great either, and they didn't even win a lot of games. So I don't even know if Westbrook wants to waste his time playing for a team that most likely ain't going to make the playoffs again. And once Sabonis went down, it went really downhill for them. And Renaud did step up and be one of the best rookies in the draft. And that's a positive thing, but let's see what they choose to add. So Kyle is getting traded to New York, is what I just heard. Emmanuel Sharp, a guard out of Houston. 6'2", 208 pounds. And they're going to just be getting a solid player. Nothing crazy here for them. They just want somebody that's going to bring energy to their team. And he wants to play, and he's going to go out there and try to do whatever he can to help the team win. High character guy. Nothing crazy with this pick, but nothing bad either. So probably could have went in a different direction. Probably could have got him later in the draft. But at the same time, if that's the guy you like and you already like the offers you're getting, plus you can still make some before the draft is over. You just gotta look at it and say we cool with the pick because this is the guy we ended up getting. Pick is in for Orlando. They're just trying to add more good young talent. Desmond Bain and Paulo Benqueto and Franz and Jalen Suggs and Anthony Black and Wendell Carter. You can look at them and say they should be a playoff team again, but they have to take it to another level. They get a new coach too. That's going to change some things up. They get a whole year of playing with each other last year. They had some new lineup changes and some injuries. You just hope, if you're an Orlando fan, that those things don't hunt you this year. Other than that, all you can do is to get the best player you can get right now and add that to your bench and bring him along and allow him to develop into this roster as long as you want to keep him. You don't really have no stickiness to these second round picks. You just get the guy you like and see if he fits what you're trying to do. And if you don't like him, you don't have to commit too much of your cap to the guy because of the contracts you get when you at this point of the draft. So Felix is gone from the forward from Tennessee. You can call him a center if you want to, but he's 6'10", 237 pounds. He likes to protect the rim, rebound, and finish at the rim. Not the greatest shooter, not the greatest floor spacer, but that's fine. People said they needed another big, and now they get one that it's going to take some time to pan some things out on the defensive end at the NBA level. Good instincts, understand where to be at to be able to make the plays. Now he has to avoid the foul trouble. Now he has to adjust to the speed of the game, the athleticism of the game, and how to get to his spots to be able to score in the league as well. Not hard to figure out, but that's something that he is going to have to adjust to coming into the league. New York, 47th pick. It seems like we've been seeing New York this whole draft. How many chances they going to get to keep somebody or get somebody? They've been moving around in this draft since yesterday, and they still are making a lot of decisions and not really committing to really no player really in this draft. But it just shows you how much talent these rosters is going to be getting and the decisions they have to make every year financially and how to keep talent on a roster that they actually like and actually feel that can help them win, especially under the aprons. pick is in for the New York Knicks. Dallas and Denver is up next. We get to see what they do. Dallas need more to put around Cooper, and Denver is still trying to say, we haven't been close to winning a championship the last couple of years, but we're trying to get to the point where we can get back to that. Still got Murray, still got Jokic, one of the best duos in the game, and we still trying to figure out how to win with that. Still in a prime. Both was all stars, both was all NBA, but we lost in the first round. Dallas looking at it like we had a terrible season, but we got a lot of players that still are good, and we have a future superstar in Cooper Flag. And the Knicks are saying, let's just keep moving around in the draft until we get something we actually want, which is either cash or a cheap player. So Tyler Nickel is off the board, forward out of Vanderbilt. 6'6", 217 pounds. He can shoot. You leave him open, he will hurt you. And that's what he brings to the table. Going to be playing more of the guard position, but he does have enough weight to where he can guard bigger guys. Other than that, just a good plug and play guy, and you just hope that he can do what he did in college and the NBA. He didn't mind coming out. He's, I'm done with college. I'm trying to make it now, and he declares for the draft and gets drafted, and he should be happy about that. Dallas is up now. I'm liking what they did so far, but they're gonna need more if they want to turn this thing around, especially after losing Anthony Davis and Luka. That was already crazy enough. But Cooper Flag showed you that he's still one of the best players in the league. Some people had him top 60 before he even played a game, and he proved those guys right. Honestly, if you want me to say that, it'll be true. I would have to say they took some heat for it, and then he was able to show that he top 60 in the league. He just needs to continue to work on his creation ability with his shot, his mid-range game, his three-point game, his free throw game, and then his ball handling and playmaking, because he's going to have to make a lot of decisions for the Dallas Mavericks as the best player on the team. And that's just how it goes for any player. But he's really good. Dallas's pick is in. Let's see who their guy is going to be for the 48th pick. So Tobulua from Virginia Tech been sitting since the start of the second round, and he's finally officially drafted and gets to spend that moment with his family. 6'7", 214 pounds. He made finishing look easy, and all you want him to do is continue to finish expanding and panning out the rest of his game. Has a freak body and athleticism, but got a lot of other things he has to work on to add to his game if he wants to have the longevity in the league. And he's shown that he has a lot of potential to be a good player. That's why they feel like he's the guy that they wanted. Now Denver, we getting closer to the end of the second round. 49th pick for them. I think they just need to go with another wing because they have to figure out Peyton Watson. They have to figure out what they're gonna do with Aaron Gordon because he's been injured too much the last couple years, even though he still fits what they're trying to do and is a really good player. They got Christian Braun, they got Bruce Brown. I mean, you can go on and on. But those guys are getting beat up. Those guys are getting older. Those guys ain't defending the way they need to, or they just not available enough. And that's just making it harder for Denver to get over that hump and win another title. When you have one of the best players ever, which is Nikola Jokic, you want to win as much as you can. And that's something that they really haven't really been doing when it comes to playoffs. They won one, it hasn't really made it to the final since. And teams are figuring out how to play against them. Teams are figuring out how to guard them. And they need to switch some things up, change some things up. And they fired their coach, and now they have a new one, and we'll see what they choose to do in free agency as well, because this draft ain't going to be enough to make them better. They're going to have to make another move that's significant if they want to be contenders again in the Western Conference. Well, they might still be a team that yeah,
You eating?
yeah.
Okay. We both, all of us get 2 portions.
Yeah, but other than that, they have they duo, they had their system in place. Now they just have to figure out how to keep it chugging along, but at a high level. Not just at a playoff. Well, mid to the playoffs, you gotta try to win it all with Jokic and Murray as your duo still. That should be their goal, and that's what they should be trying to accomplish this summer and during the regular season. They did it once, they gotta do it more than that. You know what I mean? Jokic is definitely one of the best players in the league still. And you want to capitalize off that as much as you can. Bryce Hopkins going to Denver. I thought they was gonna get a wing, and they did. 6'6", 219 is about where we thought he would go in this range. Um, you just want him to play a little bigger, but other than that, the guy can score. He can put the ball on the floor. He can shoot the mid range. Can shoot the three. You just want to see if he can do it efficiently in the NBA. Um, he was one of the best players you can get at this point of the NBA draft, and now he's gone.
Everything done.
She just happy her baby made it to the NBA as she should. We was waiting for a long time, and now we in the NBA. That's how she was feeling. Toronto round two, um, 50th pick. I might be wrong. Maybe we might do it for a little bit over 2 hours because it is about an hour and 38 minutes that this live stream been going. Maybe these next 10 picks are going to go longer than I thought. I thought that they'd just be picking in and getting out, getting in, getting out. I guess they've been doing that. It just takes time, to get up and down that podium. But I was thinking like it probably might only take 2 hours max to get the second round done. We'll see how these next 10 picks go. But if it goes a little bit over 2 hours, y'all know I still got y'all. I'm still going to be doing it. Still shorter than the first round as we expected. Not as much of a celebration as it is in the first round, but that's why you see a lot of these guys not even there. Um, but it will still be a good moment to see people and meet these people and shake the deputy commissioner hand and still walk across that stage saying, I got drafted, y'all. May not got picked where I wanted to, maybe not like some of these players dropped even in the second round, but at least you made it happen. At least you got it done. You put in all that work to be able to have this opportunity. Might as well do it. They have their own opinion, they have their own reasons, they have their own circumstances. But even if this is the second round, I wouldn't be trying to miss it if I earned it. In my personal opinion. So, it's still good to see people still come and still be there. Um, to have this experience showing you that all that work paid off, and let's go to the next chapter of our NBA lives and our basketball lives as players is what they should be looking at and seeing it as. But to each their own on that. Everybody had their own reasons, and some people gonna look at it like, man, it didn't happen the way I wanted it to, which disappointment is part of the world. We all gotta accept it anyway. Pick is in for the Toronto Raptors. Let's see who they choose to go with in this spot. They got a lot of wings already. They got Ingram, they got RJ, they got Scotty Barnes, they got some coming off the bench as well. They got Jakoperto as a big. They got Colin Murray Boyles as well. Jaden Bradley off the board out of Arizona. 6'2", 205 pounds. Another guard that does similar things that you have seen within that 45 to 50th range, where they really good at defense, not the greatest shooters or scorers really, but they have good bodies, they have good upside, have good potential to develop into something um, good, especially as bench players. So can't be too mad at that. Those players are still needed. Those players are still respected in the league. He can make a three, but this is the NBA, so it's going to be a little further out. And he's going to have to do that against better athletes. That's going to close out more tougher. Just got to figure it out. That's his job as a player. They're going to take care of the business. They're going to take care of everything else. You got to take care of being the best player you can be going into games every time you step on the court, and just have to live with results, good and bad. But you got to prepare yourself, and that's all you can do. Washington, one of the most talked about teams. Um, Remember, this is a part of a trade that already happened, which was Orlando. With them, Washington has been one of the most talked about teams because they got AJ and they got Anthony Davis and they got Trey Young. The 46th pick was traded to the Wizards, which was Felix. 2026 51st pick, which is this one, is going to Orlando with cash considerations for Milwaukee. And the Bucks get the 60th pick, which is the last pick of this draft, which is the second round. And that's what they get. Bucks are getting a whole lot of assets. They're getting a whole lot of players to their roster that's really, really young. I mean, man, they just traded Giannis, 2, 3 days ago, and they already got a lot of young players in that trade, including some picks. So the Bucks are really going to be interesting to see how they build their roster out the next 2 to 3 years, because they have a lot of good shiny things that they can offer other teams, and if they want to keep them, with the talent that they already have on their roster, it can be very interesting to see how this team turns out within a couple years to figure out what direction they want to go in. They got their head coach figured out. They got a GM that isn't afraid to make choices and decisions. He's the one that let Middleton go. He's the one that let Holiday go. He ended up stretching Dame. He ended up trading Giannis. He ended up making that decision to bring in Miles Turner. So they have a lot of decisions to make, a lot of choices to make. This is going to shape what the Bucks are going to be and what they're going to try to do. And it's going to be interesting to see how things go for them. But you can say the same thing for the Wizards. Nobody seen them trading for Trey Young. Nobody thought that they'd get Anthony Davis too. And then they got AJ, the number one pick, and they have good supporting players already that's developing, but still show that they can play at the NBA level. The Magic will be getting this pick from the Wizards, and it's going to turn into Nelson out of South Florida, another forward, 6'8", 219. Um, he's more of an effort, energy type of guy. He's going to try to make things happen. He's going to try to pull rabbits out of a hat. Those are the guys that you want to have, but you still will possibly need a little bit more out of them if you're there going to play a lot of minutes on a winning team. So Washington, they traded it. Orlando look at it like we're already going to be possibly a playoff team again. And they just got a guy kind of like this not that long ago. So we'll see how their roster continues to build out and what they do in free agency as well, which is next after the draft. And they're going to try out some more young guys and see if they can fill out the roster with some guys that are more proven at the college level. And they just have to, change some things up and change their mindset a little bit to be able to play at a high level at the NBA. Clippers is up again with the 52nd pick. You wouldn't believe, like, the Clippers have so much picks in this draft, and they don't really need too much since they have guys that's more proven, even their younger guys. But they also haven't really picked nobody that really is going to change much. You know what I mean? They got a lot of guys that can play, but they also have some guys that they will need to help Kawhi Leonard them compete for titles. I don't think the roster that they have right now is a team that can win it all. I do feel like it's going to be a team that's going to be competitive, but being a play-in playoff team that's going to be out in the first round or out in the play-in like they was last year is not the ideal situation when you have a guy of Kawhi Leonard's caliber, who some people feel like is still a top 10 player right now. And if that's the case, they don't have nowhere near enough to compete for a playoff spot. And even if they can get it, they're not going to really hang in there that long. It's going to be interesting to see what they do with all these young players and what they're going to do with the roster to try to change how we feel about it going into the regular season. And it's just something that you have to figure out if you're going to keep guys around and you're going to try to figure out a way to win with them. You actually have to get it done eventually. Because I mean, when they got Quiet Leonard, they was feeling like that was going to be championships. They didn't win anything, and now he's getting older, and it takes longer for your body to heal. It's easier to get injured, and it's harder to play at an elite level for a couple more years. Now you can say Kawhi Leonard is a shooter. He's a guy that can space the floor, so he's going to be able to give you 20 points regardless. Now that might be true, but if you're not winning anything significant, if you're not really getting, your goal, which is bringing Kawhi Leonard to win titles, then what's the point of keeping him? I just don't understand that right now, especially when his value is so high right now. He finally played a really good season. He finally stayed healthy for a lot of a season. And you would think that let's trade off of him, because if you ain't really gonna compete in Los Angeles, you just gonna look kind of silly. Like, you got Kawhi Leonard still, and he's still putting up numbers, and you're not really getting nowhere. Maybe I'm the crazy one, but that's just my analysis on it. I just feel like he's too good of a player to just make the playoffs or make the play-in and get put out every year. He should be trying to make a final run to be able to win another title before his career comes closer to an end or a complete end. And that's just how I feel about it. But they have a different opinion. They have some different feelings, and they entitled to that. So ain't nothing much I can say, but it's gonna be interesting to see what they do. Another rainy day in Wisconsin. The weather been terrible down here. The grass do need some agua, and we gonna have some good weather eventually. Is all we can hope. It's still not July. It's still not August. That's where we have to look at it. So the center, people feel like can go in the first round. They look at him as the best big left in the draft, and man, did he fall all the way to a point where he might not even got drafted. But he can shoot, he can rebound. Um, he's a little slower. He's not the greatest run protector, but he's a skill big, and you would have thought that a team would have picked him up faster, but not the case. In this draft, he really fell low. And the Clippers do get their big, but I don't think it's the one that they really wanted. But it's still a quality player that's one of the better college players this past season. So he really fell. Some people thought he'd be in the end of the first round or even earlier than that. But he went from the 40s in the 30s all the way down to 52. None of us thought he had dropped that far. But he did. He is always somebody that drops you. Just have to be ready for it. And he was the guy that dropped the most. Some other guys dropped as well, but not as much as he did. So it can be that way. Houston is not up. Remember, this is a traded pick. So they're going to be selecting, but it's not going to go to them. Pick is in for this pick, which is the 53rd, and we shall see who is going to be. Still some good players on the board, so this should be a good undrafted. I mean, it was just so much good talent in this draft in general. So the undrafted players, sadly, they won't get drafted. Some of them are choosing it anyway, contract wise. It just don't make sense for them. So they just say we rather just go undrafted at this point, which is something that hasn't been new, but something that's can happen. Um, so we'll see these last couple picks and how they go. Um, so Ghana is off the board. He really dropped as well. But he got drafted, and his goal still comes true. He should be happy that they actually picked him up. Back to back bigs. I guess they waited all the way to the end. The Rockets have some things to figure out with their bigs. Um, but now they get a younger one. He's huge, as you can see if you're watching the draft. The guy is huge. But we'll see what he can really do at the NBA level. Things are going to be a lot harder and a lot tougher. But he's a massive human being. He's a giant. He's literally a giant. So, um, 6'11", 236 pounds. He's just going to finish and protect the realm. That's all he's asked to do. That's all he's going to be able to do. You just want him to react a little faster and a little bit quicker at the NBA level. They're more smarter. They're more poised. They're more prepared for a big, and they're not as reckless as younger players are. Since the most NBA players, especially starters, are more seasoned, it's going to be more difficult for him to do certain things that he did in college at the NBA level. But he still should be able to do enough of it to where he can make an impact on the team. Golden State, they're trying to pick up another good young player if they can, that can help them in their rotation. Remember, Moses Moody might be out for a significant amount of time. Let's not forget Jimmy Butler is still going to be out. They got um, Luxembourg last night, and they're trying to find a way to get somebody just as good as him or close in this second round, or we can see what else they can do. Golden State pick is in, so we're going to see who they choose to pick with that 54th pick. This is a big one for them. They trying to get that last championship while Steph is still performing at a iconic level offensively, and while Draymond still is defending at a good enough level for a starter and somebody his age. I mean, they have a lot of free agents that they felt can really help them. We'll see what they do. Um, They can get more depth at the guard position. They can get more depth at the wing position, and also at the center position. There's still guys that they can pick right now that can fill that void. Clippers trading Henry Vassar to the Hawks for the 57 pick and cash consideration. That's something that just happened as well. Um, the Isaiah Stewart thing is crazy. It's like he is a good big, and you don't feel that he's a bad player, but the amount of money he's making and the things that he's been doing um, kind of forced Detroit to say we got to make this move to get him out of here. But he's still a good quality player as a big. He do so much as a role player, and he also fights, for rebounds and blocks, and he wants to make those plays. He wants to be in those moments. And the fact that he can also stretch the floor just makes him a valuable big in the league. Like a team like Golden State would have been good for him to be on that type of roster. But, you know, they found the right trade partner. They got what they wanted for him. And now the Pistons got to move on. And we would love to see what they're going to do in free agency. Jay Jones out of Florida State is off the board as a guard. This is what they kind of need. Like I said before, now they have it. So we'll see how he plays and how he translates to the NBA. But a guy that is more proven at the college level, and we have to see can he do it at the NBA level. It's gonna take some time for him to figure it out, but don't we all feel that way? Even Steph wasn't the greatest when he first came into the league, and now he's considered one of the greatest players ever because of his development and because of his work ethic, his love and commitment to the game. So you have to have those things too if you want to become one of the best players in the world. And even if you want to become a good or great player, you have to have that mentality too. So now the pick is in for the Knicks Rockets trade. Remember that happened a little earlier. So that's something that is going to be there. But at the same time, at least they get the player that they possibly might want. Let's see what happens at the end of the draft. Is there any more trades that's going to be made? Is there any player that should have got drafted that's going to be undrafted? So many things still to see within these next couple picks. We passed the 2 hour mark. Thank y'all for grinding with me. Thank y'all for staying with me throughout this draft process. I love the draft, like I always say, as it's beginning to wrap up. Thank y'all for being loyal. Thank y'all for continuing to support the channel. Thank y'all for continuing to check out what I have to say and enjoying the content that I make on this channel. Thank y'all for all the love. Thank y'all for all the support that y'all showed me throughout the years and still to this day. I got more content coming up. Summer league content coming up. More breakdowns of NBA players and rookies coming up. More tributes to the legends and the icons that shaped the game, changed the game, and kept it popular, and allowed these players to be able to have the opportunity to play basketball for a living. And Nick is off the board out of Northwestern. He's a forward. We done seen a couple forwards go and a couple bigs go. 6'6", 224. He's a really big guard. And that's why you can play him at both positions. But he's a very highly intelligent guy. He knows how to get the job done. He knows how to put the ball in the basket his way. And as long as it works, as long as it, gets done efficiently or not where it's hurting the team, you'll be happy with that. But the Bulls on the board, obviously the trade with the Lakers changes that. We're down to our last four picks of the second round. Woof. Not a 3 hour plus day, but a 2 hour day. Still was fun seeing these goals come true for these guys. Um, Still exciting to see what happens at the end of the draft. It was a lot of trades in this second round of people moving down or moving off their players. Nothing really new with that. It just it ends up happening. New York trades a good one to Detroit for cash considerations. Like I said, New York did come out and say they're looking to try to retain who they can retain, but not overpay. They're also not looking to be paying those taxes or being in the apron if they can avoid it. That's already been put out there by James Dolan. So you can see why they'll be moving off of a lot of these young players and trying to find a way to keep a roster spot, keep cash, because that's the decision and the choice they're making going into next season. So we'll see how their roster looks going into next season, but they're already committed to what they want to think and how they feel about how they should go about things before free agency really starts. For a lot of these role players that's still available, we know for sure Desuma's off the board, Austin Reeves is off the board, and you also know other players are too that I covered already on my channel. But things are going quick. People are making these decisions fast, and they know what they want. They know what they're trying to get, and they're just going straight for that. We even seeing that in this draft. This guy I know for sure I want, the other guys I don't. So either I'm trading down or getting rid of all the players just to get cash, or I know exactly who I want. And even if I got to take them higher, even if I got to pass up on them, I want to try to get them when I can. So that was a lot of the things that's been going on in the second round. And the draft can be that way. Pick is in. So we're going to see who is going to be for the 56 pick. And the pick is in. And he's about to announce it right now. And let's see who is going to be. So Cephalot, he's off the board. Most people didn't really see him getting picked, but it's a reality now. A guard out of Russia has a lot of things he has to grow and improve on as he tries to make his way into the NBA and become a solid player or better. Three picks left. Atlanta, they have had a lot of picks in this draft. Now they have another one. We'll see how that goes. Even though the Clippers, I think, get this one from them, which is something that happened earlier. And the pick is in, and let's see what they do with it. And so Narcisse out of France, another France player been drafted. They've been having a whole lot of players get drafted, and he's another one. Now we look at the 58th and the 59th and the 60 picks, three left. The last three picks of the second round. We are closing in on 3 hours, even though it's almost over. We'll see how long it takes these last three teams to pick. I mean, at this point, your options are still there, but you know for sure who you should be trying to get at this point because either they fail or you got them earlier in the draft, or you just got two, three guys left and you just feel like you got to pick one of them, and that's the only indecisiveness you will have at this point. So I don't really think it's going to take them that long to figure out who they're going to pick, especially the Pelicans. But somebody's going to be happy that they got selected because the Pelicans is a place where you can go and get opportunity to play. Even if you're a young player, because they have a lot of young players that they're still trying to win with. So I wouldn't say the same about Minnesota and Washington. I think that Washington one is going to just trade it anyway. But this Pelican pick should be an important one for their franchise. We just don't know who it's going to be yet. Will it be a guard? Will it be a wing? Will it be a big? The pick is in for the Pelicans. So they made their decision. Now we just had to see it officially be done. And then we go to the last two picks. Jerron Pierre Jr., a guard at SMU. Some people did have him going around this range. I guess it's not really a surprise. Honestly, they just looked at it and said, "This is a guy that can score coming in," and they needed more defense. They didn't really need a crazy amount of more offense, but if you can get somebody that can get you a bucket, it ain't the worst thing to get, especially at the 58th pick. Minnesota picking at 59. I think this is going to be an easy one for them because, like I said, at this point, either you got the guy already or you're just trying to find a way to get the last guy you didn't get, especially if you didn't trade it. And they should know for sure who that guy is coming in when the deputy come in to ask them. They should know. They should know exactly because all of these people have a bunch of guys they know for sure they want to get if this guy's going, I want this guy. If that guy not going, I'm going to take that guy. And now you only really got so many of them left. Some of them going to be projects. Some of them going to be more proven. And some of them going to have multiple skill sets. A lot of them guys are already gone in the end of the first round, in the beginning of the second round. Now you're getting guys that you got to plug them into this role, or you have to develop them into a role. And the Wolves are a team that's still trying to contend right away, is why I say that. They're still trying to win a title. They're still trying to be one of the better teams in the West with Anthony Edwards, J.D. McDaniels, Gobert, and of course Dusumu. And you have to add a good piece to your bench. Like they tried to do it with Rob Dillingham, that didn't really pan out. He wasn't good enough. So they're trying to have guys that can come in right now and just play well for them. And we'll see who they choose right now. The pick is in. So not really much time to wait after this one. So we'll see who it actually is. Been a fun draft, man. It's been fun. It did go faster than I thought. Lasted longer than I thought, but still was enjoyable nonetheless. As we come to an end, they ended up putting on a nice show. Got a bunch of young players that's not even drafted. That's just crazy how a lot of these players not even gonna make it to a roster, and they just have to go overseas and dominate over there until they get enough value for themselves to be able to make it back to the NBA. Some people get drafted, some people play in summer league, some people go overseas, some people take a couple years before they can get back into the NBA. We'll see how things end up going for some of these guys. But thing that's crazy, at 59, you can still get a good player. It's just depending on what you want in that player. You can basically say that about any pick, but there's still some more proven players left on the board that you can still get at 59 if you're the Timberwolves. So this is not the worst selection ever. It should be actually a helpful one, depending on who they get. So Trey Kaufman-Renn is off the board forward out of Purdue. Some people, they looked at him like he can go undrafted. Some people, like the Timberwolves, feel like he can be a good fit for them. Their decision at the end of the day, can rebound, can finish at the rim. Just understands what he's out there to do. Big guy. So he's gone. And with that being said, we got one more pick to make. And it's going to be the Bucks pick, because Washington traded like they showed you a couple picks ago. Bucks get the last pick. Like, so I'm excited for the Bucks because they have a lot of young players, a lot of good guards, a lot of forwards. They have bigs that can shoot and space the floor, and Miles Turner and Khalil Ware. Jaime is a bucket. They also got Tyler Hero, who can play, make, shoot, space, and dribble and create shots for other people. They still got other guys that was on the roster previously that's still going to be on the roster this season, most likely. So we'll see what the Bucks try to do for the rest of the offseason. We'll see the other decisions they choose to make and the players they go after. They try to see if they're trying to retool another season or if they're going to try to make the playoffs this year. Regardless of what they do, I'm liking a lot of the choices that they're making because of the situation that they found themselves in with Giannis and how they was able to get a good haul for him from the Miami Heat. Bucks, they got a good pick right here that can really add to what they're doing. They got Zhang as well, another player that showed that he can hit some shots from the perimeter and get to the basket. They got rid of a lot of their veterans the last couple years because they felt like they was older and they wasn't staying healthy enough and they wasn't helping them win enough. So they felt like they had to move off of them a little earlier than people probably would have. But if the deal is right, like they made the show, if it's right, maybe it makes sense to do that. And I've been making that a part of my channel. Like, if that's how the fans feel and that's the type of money they make and that's the way they're playing, a lot of teams have shown that they're moving off their franchise players. They're moving off their superstar players earlier. And some of these guys are requesting trades and some of these guys are just getting kicked out early. And we seen that even with Luca. Like, this is how you feel, this is how you gonna go about things. We're gonna let you go. Without even hesitating. We're gonna let you, let's make this deal. Let's get it done. And Giannis, he stuck around a little longer because they just won the cup and Dame was healthy. We didn't expect him to go down. And then he went down out of nowhere and then they stretched him. And that was basically the end of that run with Giannis. Like, we can't really put nothing competitive around you anymore for you to be able to win another title and for you to be able to be yourself and not be relied upon too much to carry the load in your 30s, even though he's in the prime of his career. The way he plays and the way he goes about things is why they had to make that decision to get whatever they can get for him now, because all the players that they got really was below 28. So it made sense for them to make that move because they also got picks as well. But the pick is in, and this is basically is what I'm saying. It's the end of the live stream. Thank y'all for the love. Thank y'all for the support. Thank y'all for kicking it with me. Thank y'all for stopping by. This is probably gonna be the last big live stream of the year because I'm gonna do instant analysis during the regular season, preseason, summer league. Gonna give y'all breakdowns in the summer as it continues to go on. And I'm also going to continue to cover trades and signings as they come out and as they happen, and other news too for the NBA. So if you like that type of stuff and you just checked out this channel for the first time or after this video was uploaded, thanks for still watching. Thank y'all for still supporting however y'all could, even if it's a little bit, even if it's a lot. I still appreciate of anything that y'all do for the channel because it's all optional. Other than that, we'll see who this pick is, and that will end the live stream. So other than that, let's see who they're gonna pick. And basically all the players that we thought was really good value at the positions are gone. Now it's just about what do the Bucks actually want in this pick. So Malik Lewis has a lot of upside, has a lot of potential out of Trinidad and Tobago. 6'8", 195, good athlete, good body. Is a plug and play guy. No matter what team and lineup he's out there with, he can make a shot, he can make a play. And those type of guys are always good to have. No matter what you're trying to do, they can make an impact on the game positively. Just want to see if the shooting is real at the NBA level. Can he defend like he defend against those players, against the better athletes and higher IQ players that he might have to go against at the NBA level? And that's all he really has to do if he wants to make it in the league. 3-and-D guys are basically staples in the NBA. So he's going to be a guy that can make it as long as he wants to, as long as he continues to defend, as long as he continues to make shots, add a little playmaking, add a little passing, add a little rebounding. He should be fine in the NBA for a long time, unless he gets injured or unless he just lose interest or teams find somebody younger or better than him in future drafts or in free agency. So other than that, good pick by the Bucks. Not the greatest thing ever, not the mind-blowing thing, but adding another solid rotation player is always great, especially when you're trying to build your asset, pull up, and also build your team up to be as well-rounded as it can be. Other than that, y'all stay blessed up. Y'all stay good. Peace. Don't forget to comment, like, subscribe, and share. and hit that notification bell too to get that analysis when it first comes out from this channel. Other than that, I'm happy that y'all watched. I'm happy that y'all supported. Y'all stay blessed up as much as y'all can be and stay good as long as y'all can be. That's all I can hope for y'all. That's all I can want for y'all. And that's something I try to say to y'all all the time because it's true. Other than that, peace.